Good evening everyone, Ads here from Unity Trading Group. Welcome to your Monday night update. Good to be back in front of the screens after we had a very sporadic upload schedule last week. But without further ado, let's start. Give us a like, tap the subscribe button if you can, and hit the notification bell if you want to stay updated on all of our future content that's coming soon. So, BTC, where are we at? Where have we been? Some interesting plays since last time we spoke. So last time, and the chart's changed since I spoke about it last week, but if we're to see anything happening on the charts from last week to this week, it's that we got that eventual pullback that we were really talking about last week. I think it was, if I'm to say Wednesday or Thursday last week, Melbourne time, that we're really speaking about, the eventuality of returning to some of these key levels that were sparred across the chart. And you can have a look at last week's upload to really familiarize with yourself with where those places were. But I have updated the levels of supply and demand currently. So the one in blue you see was drawn in the daily time frame, and I did make everyone aware about this, or aware of this, in the Discord. Of course, if you haven't joined the Discord, you can with the links down below, of course. But we did get a fair bounce off the most relevant level of demand on the daily time frame with the wick and the candle that we saw yesterday. So yesterday's date was the 18th of April, and it has come to fruition that we've had a bounce from that level. So where to from here, however? There's a couple of levels that we really need to speak about in the sense of where BTC can return. Can we return back to our all-time high, or is it going to be a lower high scenario, and are we going to continue and see the 50k mark, or even the high 47s, or high 40s, should I say? So we're going to have a discussion about this now. In retrospect to the levels of resistance that we're seeing on the chart, the most relevant level for me is this level of supply here at 60k. 60k being that round number, and of course playing nicely into the downwards and upwards sloping movement, and even creating a lower high there would make sense to me. If we are to move across, and I did make everyone aware of this, of course, in the Discord today as well, was the CME chart. So the CME chart was looking like that gap is between that 60k or thereabouts and where we are currently. So if we are to see this gap be filled with the CME futures chart, we will see BTC come back up to 60k, thereabouts where our level of demand sits currently on our normal chart, and of course give us a confirmation as to if this is going to continue to the upside, or is it going to continue to the downside as we have seen over the last day or so. So something to really consider if you are looking for, even for levels that you could short off, I guess, or even looking for confirmation as to if we are going down or even if we are going up. This level at 60k, this level of supply, could be the telling feature as to whether or not we are going back to the mean, or of course back down to retest those lower levels at 50k, and of course the high 40s if we do get there. The levels of demand that I'm seeing on the chart, they're quite easy to spot, I would think, because they are on significant pivot point. That's on a pivot. Of course, that's a pause, but we do have a more meaningful zone up the top here that was created up the top at 65k, So a few levels sitting around the place that we can really take interest into BTC. If we are to move up towards that 59, 60k and continue to the upside and retest this for a lower high, it will satisfy, in my opinion, the RSI, and of course the steamroller indicator down below there as well, giving us some more breathing room, of course, to come up, possibly retest the median zone on our steamroller indicator and continue down. I've just want to touch on this RSI indicator that we've got down below. I'm going to release this more than likely this evening or tonight, And I'll put a link in the Discord, or even like a sign up sheet in the Discord where you can register your interest. And of course, we'll hand it out for free. That's just a freebie of being in the Discord. You have to be in the Discord, in the UTG Discord, to take advantage of this RSI. Basically, we've outlined a few levels with the RSI that are meaningful to us, most notably the 50. If we're under the 50, you can see we're bearish on this time frame in particular. And of course, if we're over the top, we're green and bullish on this time frame. So you can see how that correlates nicely in the way of the chart price action. Excuse me. If we're putting on the gravy train indicator, of course, for BTC, we will note that the GT cloud, our resistance cloud, very well sits on that 60K, pretty much precisely there, and lines up with that price action that we've been speaking about tonight as well. So very good result from our gravy train indicator. And of course, you can find the link down below for more information on GT. But tonight we'll keep it short and sweet. We'll have a look at ETH USD, and then we'll have a look at Forex, and we'll call it a night. But with ETH, similar fate that we're really speaking about with this sort of price action. So if I draw in the most notable areas of demand, we will have a look and see where we're at. So extend right, if you want to know how we do it, I'll just apply default. Extend right. There we go. So in similar fashion to BTC on this time frame in particular, we have pushed through it. So that level I was really looking for was on the daily time frame for BTC. So if we are to see any sort of, level of demand be held nicely with ETH, it's very difficult at this current point to really pinpoint where these bars will be on the daily time frame. So if we scroll down onto the 12-hour to give us a little bit more information, a little bit more noise in between the areas to give us a level of demand, we can see that this pivot point at this point here, which was the 7th of April, gave us that level of demand. And of course, we have touched right on the bottom there and closed above. A very similar result. We found it on the daily for BTC, being a lot more data to take in. And of course, we found it on the 12-hour for Ethereum. I typically take in the late levels of supply and demand on the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame. It's very rare that I do the 12-hour, but if that's what is required of the chart to really find a level and give us a confirmation on direction, that's what I'll do. So that's what we're doing here. If we do break down below this level, we will see if we retest some of the levels underneath, being 1800 and of course 17, and we've got 15 down below. Not getting too ahead of myself currently. There's still some price action that needs to be had over the next couple of days, but they're the levels that I'm looking for in any case. Next one I have a look at this evening, keep it nice and short, nice and sharp, is the DXY. Of course, it is a financial regulated market, not financial advice, just ideas and opinions of Team UTG. And on this 4-hour time frame, we are getting smashed. It is absolutely slipping back down. And of course, we've noticed some slippage over the last couple of weeks and since late March. And of course, we are observing that now. We've given this level of demand a push through with some force on this 4-hour time frame. So I expect us to visit the next ones down. Let's update those and see where we're at. So the most notable one, in my opinion, is this one here. It was placed on a pivot point. We've got a pivot here, up, came back down, and we had a leg up out of that zone. So that's the next area I'm looking at, which resides around 90.80 for the DXY. And that looks like we will get there after a little bit of a cool off along this level of demand. We have finally pushed down, and you can see the relevance of the 50 RSI playing out nicely. Our bias hasn't changed from the downside to the upside yet for the DXY on this time frame at least. And of course, it is paying dividends for us, giving that bias to that chart. We are looking for downwards targets, and of course the RSI giving us that indication of that bias, of course. Thank you all for joining me tonight. It's good to be back in front of the screens, although it's a little bit late for me to be uploading a video, but in any case, we are here. I am here. We'll be here for the remainder of the week. I am transitioning between employment over the course of this week and the next fortnight, so I'll be very much available in the Discord, of course, over the next couple of weeks. So if you have any queries, any questions, just hit me up in there. The links are down below. But yeah, thank you all for joining me tonight. It's been a nice, short and sharp night tonight. We covered BTC, Ethereum, and the DXY, the three main ones in my opinion, in my book. But stay safe out there, of course, and I'll see you in the next one. It should be tomorrow night. Bye for now.